You can't solve your financial problems with the same kind of thinking that caused them. These words will change your reality because poverty can't survive in a dough chaser's mentality. It's time to get this party started now.
I like it.
With your host, Jason White.
The People Salesman. Today we're going to be talking about the right way to buy a car. I asked Lance to come by and share some tips and some strategies to make sure that you are making the best deal for yourself when it comes to buying your car. Right. A lot of times people end up making a mistake when they buy their own cars because they don't know what the hell they're doing.
No guidance.
So we got the People Salesman here in Toledo and surrounding areas. He helps people make the best purchase for themselves to basically get a car that they can afford.
Correct.
And also a car that's going to last, right?
Something that they like and love.
Exactly. So he's going to be sharing information with you to help you get the best deal. I'm going to be asking him some questions. He's going to give me the best answer he can.
Okay.
Honestly,
I'm excited.
Exactly. That's going to help you get the understanding that you need to buy your car, okay? So I have one more place to share this, but we're live on Facebook and YouTube. So what's up, Dough Chaser family? Let me know who you are and where you're from, and we're going to get this party started now. All right?
Okay.
So, Lance, first and foremost, I appreciate you coming through.
Man, thank you for having me. It's a true honor being here.
Oh, yeah, definitely, man. I appreciate that. I'm honored myself. I am not originally from Toledo. I actually moved here, 8-9 years ago. However, you were one of the first people who wanted to support me, right? He heard about our services and he started recommending people to our program right away.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I appreciate it.
No problem, man. I love helping.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I believe in what you were doing. You was doing something that our community was uneducated on.
Right.
Definitely. So you came in and said, look, I'm going to make a change right here in Toledo. You did just that, but I can't help but to support.
I appreciate that, man. You got me feeling real good. Okay, so let's dive into it, man.
Let's get it.
How long have you been in the car industry?
I've been in the car industry for 9 years, but I've been at Tail Automotive Group for 8 years now.
8 years? Okay.
Mm-hmm. A total of 9 years in the industry.
Okay, cool. And if you can explain your role with the Taylor Automotive family and helping people buy cars, if you can explain that real quick.
Beyond just selling a car, what I help people do, I help people get better financing that typically may have a harder time any other place. I'm also the floor leader at my store. I help my guys, I train them, I help give them directions on how to treat or present certain deals to customers. Mm-hmm. Whatever detailer needs, I make sure it's done. Part of the Sales Elite Club, the SEC group, who you met earlier today. What we do.
They don't know that I met them today. But basically, I had a presentation talking about credit building and partnering with our company.
Got it.
But yeah, so you're the floor leader. Okay. You basically pretty much like a manager.
Correct.
Definitely.
Not manager, not the word manager, you got the actual manager, but I assist the manager.
Right.
Training, helping them out. So I guess you can kind of say.
Yeah, you just start paying them like one, right?
Pretty much.
Right. I'm not mad at that. Okay, so we have clients across the country. The information that I want to share is general information. Okay. So when you are sharing this information, if you can talk to them as if it wasn't local information. Okay?
Got it. Okay.
So because we're trying to help everybody, right?
Correct.
Exactly. So when you're dealing with people, they want to buy a car. A lot of the people that you serve come from an underserved area, right? How does credit impact your ability to buy a car?
Credit is literally everything. It's actually more powerful than cash nowadays. It impacts, but totally two different payments. One payment could be $200. On that same exact card, if your credit score is lower, it pays to be up to $500.
Right.
On a $10,000, $10,000, $11,000, $12,000 card. Credit is everything. It can be different of getting you approved, getting you lower down payments, and get you the vehicle you want, the charger, the higher price vehicle. So credit is everything.
Right. We have a lot of clients who either they are in a car right now or they're looking to get in a car.
Right.
However, they have experience of getting those high interest rate car loans. And a lot of times they blame the car salesman.
Right.
When it's actually not your fault. It's their fault because they're not actually doing what they need to do to come at the table correctly.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So
Buying power.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So with that being said, how do you, what do you recommend people do to make sure that they are prepared when buying a car?
First thing you want to do, you want to know what your credit situation is.
Take notes.
You got to be real with yourself. First thing you got to do.
Right.
Whether you are 500 or 800, know your situation. 2, know the kind of generation, kind of car, the price range you actually will want. Whether it's a $10,000 or $15,000 price range, help you, that makes my job a whole lot easier. Interest rates. Certain banks get better rates and terms depending on the amount of money you have down.
Okay.
So that will go a long way.
Okay, so that brings me to my next question.
Okay.
You're saying come to the table prepared with understanding what your credit is.
Correct.
And also possibly making a down payment.
Correct. Also, to tip it too, also income too. Most banks require you to make at least $1,800-$1,900 a month gross. So that will help a lot too.
Gross is before taxes.
Correct.
Right. So that's the benefit of buying a car is they're willing to look at the amount of income that you're supposed to bring home versus what you actually truly bring home.
Correct.
Right.
It's a little tidbit that I learned how to do.
Okay. You said that number was $1,900?
Typically, the minimum requirement is $1,900, but the more, the better. But at least that.
Okay. You mentioned about making a down payment for a car. So you do recommend a down payment?
It always helps, especially if you are looking to be a certain payment, certain price, or if you have a lower credit score. The lower the score, the higher the requirement.
Right.
Okay. If you have a 550, you may be on the in between. 640 and above 650, you can get away with zero down easily. But if you're the lower the score, the higher required. The bank will require higher income. The bank will require more money down. Especially if you are trying to get a higher, a more expensive vehicle. The higher price point of the car, the higher the requirement.
Okay. So basically, if you are someone who has a 450 credit score, it doesn't make sense for you to go to the dealership making demands because you don't have leverage.
Correct.
Right? The whole point of a credit score
You'll be surprised.
is to use other people's money to buy stuff, right?
Correct. And
because your credit score is low, it's telling your potential lenders that you can't be trusted. Right? It is kind of funny, but it's also kind of sad that some people don't understand that. They get upset with you because
it's amazing. The people that makes the most demands that I have come experience be people with the low scores. They I get a lot of customers and they get upset at me when I can't put them in that $25,000 vehicle. But I still find ways to get you approved for that $10,000 and $50,000 price vehicle.
Right.
But they make the most demands ask for somebody that actually know what the credit score is, a higher score. They know what to do, what to bring, and what's the right value for something like this.
right.
Yeah, it baffles me sometimes.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. But I guess one of the things that people need to understand is, view your credit, understand where you are, and just be realistic.
Correct.
Right? How do you help your clients who have bad credit? What do you recommend for them?
Besides getting with this.
Besides recommending
ask what's name.
So how do you help your clients improve their credit?
What I do typically, I look at the credit situation and I put you something that is first affordable for you. The worst thing we can do, somebody with a low credit score, is try to get a $500-$600 payment when you know that's far out your budget.
Right.
So I find things within your budget, look at your income situation and your debt income, and try to put you in a vehicle that's maybe for about $300-$400 a month payment. Show you the particular cars. I also put my customer on plans. I call it my 3-month rule.
Okay.
Typically where I contact you, have them reach you, put them on a 3-month plan to help boost them score up. And 3, 4, 5 months, now they have what's called some buying power. You can come back and get it better, get more selections in.
So these are people who have limited credit.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So if you have limited credit or you have no credit history at all, it typically takes 3 to 6 months of consistent payments. can't control that, or can you?
Have no control. All I can do is make the best situation when I'm dealt with.
Right.
Okay, you get the best credit score. You get the best interest rate you qualify for. I do not dictate, nor any other dictate the interest rate that you give. So the lower your score, the higher the rate. The higher the score, the lower the rate. For credit focuses everything.
Right, which is understandable. But since we're talking about rates,
Okay.
Can you explain, not necessarily your relationship, but in general, the relationship between the car salesman and the bank?
Okay.
Or the car dealership and the bank.
The car dealership is just representation of the bank.
Right.
Each bank has the minimum requirements. What we do, we look at your credit situation and see the highest probability of banks that will give you the best chance of approval.
Right. And
give you the best rates in turn, depending your credit score. Our relationship to them is to bring it to them, make them compete against each other to get you the best terms that best suit you.
Okay, so when you are competing the banks with each other, when you have them go against each other, how does that typically work out?
Honestly, yes, because let's say I get three banks that approve you, okay? And they all give her interest rate within 1-2%. All I can do is make a phone call, say, hey, this particular bank did X, Y, and Z. Are you willing to beat it? Whichever one gives us that best rate in turn, that's when we go with.
Okay. So he's actually helping the client out by doing some of the legwork.
Correct. Fighting it on your behalf.
Right.
Correct.
So he's fighting on your behalf, calling the banks, and trying to get you the best rate that your credit qualifies for. Right?
Yep.
That's dope.
Yep. Pick up the phone call.
Now, is that typical for all car salesmen, or is that just something the people salesman does?
Don't let me lie, it's not typical.
Okay.
Okay, I see all the time. Basically, you click a button, up, that's the answer. But what I like to look for to do, I like to actually physically call.
Right, definitely.
Okay, hey, your fee's too high. This rate too high. This bank is willing to work with me. Because a lot of times, that particular bank brings a rep to us, begging and asking us to send them their business.
Gotcha.
So I'm gonna use whatever leverage I can to get them to give me a better rate of time.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know, credit is power, but having this guy on your side is also power as well. And you just have to be very careful when trying to find the right car salesman. A lot of times, people they'll go to the car dealership and they'll wait for a car salesman to approach them.
Yep. The process. Yep.
Right. So what is your recommendation for finding the best car salesman?
Find someone you can trust. That's the first one. Credibility is everything. Knowing that somebody's not going to take advantage of you, judge you, somebody that's going to simply do their best they can for you, and they'll be honest and transparent as possible.
Definitely.
Our job is to educate and guide, not. So find someone you can trust. Find someone that you can trust. That's the best way to say trust in everything.
So how do you recommend that people go about finding you?
Besides coming to me, best thing I would say, word of mouth. A lot of times, you sell people, we are known all throughout. Find someone that has built that credibility, someone that you want to grow with. If you go to a dealership, that customer, that salesperson that's taking care of you, finding you, giving you things that will go for back for you is what I would say. I mean, so best way I say is trust, man. Okay. There's no way I can put it.
Okay, I can appreciate that. We're going to have technical difficulties, so I have to change this camera really quick.
All right,
if you're with us, please be patient.
We are here.
We're here.
Don't go nowhere.
What's up, everybody? My damn camera died on me.
It's the camera.
It's the camera, and I had to change my battery. Anyway, please be patient. And look at stuff over here. So we talked about how to find the right salesman. Give me examples of how some car salesmen can take advantage of the customer.
Some examples, car salesmen take advantage of a customer. A customer that's simply unknowledgeable.
Right.
A customer that's the best scenario I can give you. A customer that asked was a 640 customer, but then they did not know they was.
Right.
Okay?
So we're talking about someone who has better credit than
What they expected.
Okay.
Okay. So, but they don't know the situation. They're thinking they're 500, 550.
Right.
So that same person can mark the price up over the car because you got less fees, you got a lower rate. So now I can have you paying $2, $3, $4 more $1,000 over the market value of the car.
That's deep.
That's the one. That's the bad thing. That's why knowing credit is everything. Another situation is
that's deep, man.
That's
deep.
thing,
I appreciate that.
Another situation is somebody that's desperate for a car that will take anything.
Right.
Okay.
So instead of them picking the car they want.
Not even that. A lot of times you can't really pick the car you want. You want the car that you best qualified for.
Right.
But you be so desperate, you take anything.
Right. Okay.
You'll take that car without knowing the engine history, knowing the Carfax of the vehicle.
Yeah, we're talking about janky car sales.
Yes, that will just put you in the car just to put you on because they know you're desperate. And the worst thing to do is be desperate and tell somebody right off the bat you got $5,000 to put down. Because in the mind, automatically, up. Money. So, okay, so you got money down, $1,000, because some things, the bank is the minimum requirement. That's okay. But you want to actually hold off on some of it, just in case you're being taken advantage of. And the worst thing I hate to say, is single women. Single women will come in at times, they are unknowledgeable of cars a lot of times. And that salesperson, just right on them.
Cha-ching.
Just right on. Oh, yeah, great car. The price of the car, the value of the car, they will hide the price of the car. A lot of times I see some people actually take the price off the internet too. Just to get that person into the car. So it's ways, man.
Yeah, so there's the internet and then there's the dark web. Okay? He just shared some information that you all should be grateful for.
Yeah.
Because a lot of car salesmen are going to send him death threats.
Let's be honest. Just being honest.
Let's be honest, right?
I'm about the people.
Right, so I appreciate you sharing that.
Right.
So let's talk about this really quick. Okay. Not understanding your credit before you actually go buy the car is detrimental, possibly if you're not dealing with the right car salesman, because if you qualify for a good rate, they don't have to tell you.
Correct. Not necessarily a good rate.
They can give you a worse. They can give you a worse rate.
Correct.
With more fees.
More fees in it, so we're a little bit more. Not necessarily fees. Fees don't make profit. It's fees actually takes away. We can give as though there is a higher fee.
Right.
So therefore, you're thinking you got to pay so much more than you should.
Right. Interesting. Interesting. So yeah, understand your credit. I tell people all the time, get credit monitoring. Okay.
Know it.
Get credit monitoring. This brings me to my next point. So you want to get credit monitoring so you know what the lender is going to see when they pull it.
Yep.
But sometimes it's hard to figure out who the lender is if they come to you to get qualified.
Correct.
So, excuse me. Is it possible for an individual to come to the table with their the financing
already
prior to?
Yes, it is. You have many times. Excuse me.
Want some water?
I'm okay.
Okay.
Credit unions,
right?
And that's the best. That's a lot of times happens all the time.
Yeah. So credit unions are definitely going to give you the best rate.
Yeah.
Majority of the time.
Majority.
Not all the time. Too.
You will not hear me say they will all the time.
Right. Exactly.
But sometimes they will.
But yeah, when your credit is ordered,
yeah,
they are likely to give you the best rate.
Correct.
But there are other banks out there that will pre-approve you as well that you can come to the table with.
When it comes to bank situation, I always say let's just try one or two other ones.
Right.
So because if you have a bank say, I can't say the name, like
you can say
Huntington. Okay.
Huntington, if y'all want this to air, y'all better pay us some money.
It's just for example. Let's say the bank Huntington, you bank with them. They got you proved and everything else. But we look at the situation and say, hey, we can maybe get you a better rate intern.
Right.
Okay. They're just trying it out. So, but you can't.
I understand that because there's a potential for you to get a better rate with our in-house lender.
Correct.
Versus
going outside.
Correct. Going outside. I understand.
Correct.
Okay. But yeah, if it's possible, try to come to the table with your financing already through a credit union because they're going to give you the best rate.
A lot of times.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that.
No problem.
So when someone is coming to buy a car, do you recommend a trade-in of their prior vehicle?
Yes and no.
Okay.
That can actually go both.
If you can give me two scenarios.
So that's okay. Let's say a customer. Let's say you have a vehicle that's valued at $5,000.
Okay.
But you have a loan on it, and you owe, it was true, $18,000 on it.
So you have some negative equity.
That's a lot.
Right.
You have about $13,000. That happens all the time. You have about $13,000 worth of negative equity. That time, it may be better for you just to get a second auto loan.
Okay.
I mean, to go without trade. Sometimes banks get better rates and terms if you do trade in vehicles. Let's say you have a free and clear trade.
Right.
Trade that's worth, it can be worth $500, worth nothing. But because you are trading in, this particular bank may give you better rates because to them it's like, okay, they gotta have this car now. There's no backup here.
Right.
So they may give you a rate 3-4% less by trading in a car. And it always just helps with the price bringing down, getting closer to your payment.
Okay, so that's interesting. This is something I never actually thought about.
Yeah.
So you're saying that the trade-in vehicle actually is being sold by the bank. So you when they want you to trade in your vehicle,
okay,
who owns the car once it's traded in?
Oh, still goes through us.
The dealership.
It still goes through the dealership, but the bank sees on paperwork that they did trade in the vehicle.
Gotcha.
It's on paperwork. They're trading this '05 Honda Civic.
Gotcha.
Okay, so it means they don't have a car anymore. So hey, I'll give them better rate in turn to give them better payment.
Right, because that trade-in is going to be assessed towards the loan.
Toward the new car. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Can you negotiate
On a trade?
on a trade-in? I had a Toyota. What was it? It was a Honda or a Toyota. I forget. A Toyota Avalon.
Yeah.
96. That car. If I had it today, it would last forever.
I
was a fool.
I would say no.
It's an old car, but I was a fool to give that up.
You cannot. I would
And
say.
I regret it to this day. Man.
The 96 will see. That's
I know it's old.
Yeah,
but
that's a lot of customers' feelings.
Right.
See, it's worth more to you than it is to me.
right.
Okay, you got that personal attachment. So a lot of times a customer may come and say, "Hey, they put in new struts, new tires." Well, that's what you're supposed to do for the car. It doesn't change the value of the car.
Facts.
It just makes it the value of the car instead of less. So does a negotiation come into play? Sometimes
Because
it can.
you're talking about the wheels and the rims. That's because the valuation is based off of the car
Yes.
being in good condition.
Being conditioned.
Right.
That's what the car is valued at. Customer come in, I put brand new tires on.
Like, yeah, you're supposed
I
to
want
do
this.
that.
You're supposed to do that.
If you didn't have brand new tires, then
It'd be worse.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So,
But is there any room for negotiation sometimes?
yes.
If it's a newer car.
If it's a newer car, yes. If it's a new car, obviously we want to get a car for the best value, so we can put the customer into it for a better price.
Right.
But there's sometimes it doesn't be that much.
Right.
It's not like you get extra $5,000-$6,000. You may get extra $1,000 out of it, which may be
Typically, what's the profit margin that the dealership wants? Let's say the car is worth $10,000.
okay.
And they
Trade-in or resale value.
Trading value.
Trade-in, okay.
Okay. No, actual value is $10,000.
Okay.
Trading value, they're going to give me $5,000 for it.
Correct.
So that means they're going to make $5,000.
Correct.
Right? Is there a way where I can negotiate and say, you know what? I know you're going to make $5,000 off of this. I want an extra too.
Yes, absolutely. You can. It doesn't mean it always happens.
Right.
Okay. A lot of times, the average markup for let's say I'm going to just say in general,
Okay.
2010 Buick Cross. Okay. The average markup on a vehicle like that's since older, it's only going to be about $2,000. But let's say you come in with the 2017 Buick, you got much higher markup now.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a little more wiggle room for negotiations. So it's a case by case situation, honestly.
Right. If you truly have a personal attachment to your car, sell it before you get.
Yeah, sell it. You will always get more for a sale than what I will give you. I just make the job harder.
Right.
You got trade-in value and resale value. I can only give you trade-in value.
Right. So going to a dealership is going to be a lot quicker.
Correct.
But the profit margin won't be as high.
Correct.
You doing it privately, you may have your car on.
6 months.
Yeah, I drive by every day. Like,
There that car right there.
just marked down the car.
the longer that car is sitting, you just still moving, losing more value in that particular vehicle.
Definitely.
Trading in is always the best way to go at a dealership. It's just easier and better.
Okay. No, I appreciate
Yeah.
that. Let me see here. So you talk.
You ain't got to worry about if the car goes wrong. Sell it to the car. Sell it to a friend of yours.
Oh, yeah,
you sell me a bad car, oh well.
Yeah, now you gotta get refunds. That's actually very important. You don't want to lose friends, lose relationships
At all
over something that you are done with. Right? So you were talking about having a car that you may trade in for $5,000, but you have $18,000 that you still owe on it.
Correct.
So negative equity.
Okay.
What would you say is the best approach when dealing with negative equity? And then for people who want to do a voluntary repossession, how does that typically work?
Voluntary repossession is the same thing as the repossession.
I tell people that all the time.
It's not gonna. People are kind of, well, I gave back voluntarily. Is it repo? Yes, same thing. It does not benefit you at all. Okay, voluntary.
One thing, and just because you drop it off at the lot does not mean that it's not a repossession. It's still a repossession.
Just because you take it back where you bought it from, it's a repossession because that place don't own the car anymore. The bank owns it.
Right.
But that's the lesson from a buyer pay here.
Right.
Buyer pay here, take it back.
Right.
But as far as the negative equity situation is, negative equity is probably one of the hardest things to do, to overcome for even myself. A lot of times now, if it's small negative equity, like $1,000 or $2,000, you can bury that amount onto a used vehicle.
Right.
Okay, because used vehicle has what's called a cap space of maximum value. If a vehicle is worth $15,000 and I bought it for $12,000, I can only roll over two grand onto that particular vehicle. Mm-hmm. But let's say you come and you got $5,000 worth of negative equity. You can only make that work onto a brand new vehicle because brand new vehicle have what's called rebates, incentives, and more maximum value to the car because it's brand new. So you can offset a lot of that negative equity by rolling over to a new car
because you're not getting the rebate.
If you go used, if you go used vehicle, there's no rebates on the used vehicle. On a new car, there is rebates to offset it, 2, 3, 4 grand, depending on.
Is that so? For you to explain that, would that take a lot of time, or if you can explain that more in depth on?
Okay.
The negative equity.
Let's say you owe $15,000, the vehicle's worth $5,000. Negative equity is that difference between the two.
Right.
What your vehicle is worth and what you owe on it.
Take notes.
That difference of $10,000 has to roll over to your new car.
Right.
Which you can only go brand new unless you have $10,000 down. You can only bury that amount onto a brand new vehicle, a 2020, 2021. We're going to 2021.
So what do you mean by that is, let's say the car's worth $25,000.
Okay.
You put that $10,000 on top of that, so now you're paying $35,000.
Correct. Yes. Best way to put it. Yes. If you have $10,000 a negative, that vehicle that's now $25,000 becomes $35,000. Okay.
Right.
But like I said, rebates and discounts can offset some of it. But we're just speaking just in general terms.
I got you. So if you have rebates, let's say you have a $2,500 rebate,
then $2,500 knocks off that negative equity.
Right. So let's say that you had $10,000 negative equity, $25,000 loan. It's now $35,000.
Mm-hmm.
A rebate of $2,500. Now it's $32,500.
Correct.
Instead of $35,000.
Correct.
Okay, we got a little strategy. Okay.
Correct. So now you offsetting some of that negative equity. Now, but the banks, that also come down to, we got to go to, is credit score too.
Exactly.
Okay, a 500 credit score is not going to be a very $10,000 worth of negative equity. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
Okay, you are too high of a risk to get that much more of a loan to value to the car.
Right.
Banks will only
they're not going to approve you for that.
Correct. You're not going to get approved for a vehicle that's valued at $25,000, but I got to give you $35,000 for it. That's 150% LTV, what's called loan to value. What the vehicle is worth and what the bank's willing to loan.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's why it's important for you to work on your credit so you can take advantage of those opportunities.
Yes, 800 credit score, 10 grand negative, it can roll right on over.
Definitely.
I mean, payment may go up a little bit, but it rolls right over without.
That's understandable.
And it's you go to a more expensive car.
Right. Exactly.
So it's natural. Yeah.
Yeah, because we have some clients who have a car that's worth more that's worth less than what they actually owe.
Right. Yep.
Yep, and they actually want to get into something different.
Correct.
But they won't get approved because the credit score is bad and
you got
stuck.
And you got that little car. Yeah.
Exactly. And sometimes they end up making a worse decision by buying another car on top of the one they already got.
Now you got more negative equity on top of it. Some people be in situations where you got no choice. I see all the time.
Right, which is understandable.
Sometimes you simply have no choice. To go the opposite way, let's say your vehicle is worth $10,000 but you owe $6,000 on it.
Mm-hmm.
Now that $4,000 can be used as a down payment.
Right.
So now you can use that $4,000 in positive equity on a used car as well, or on a new car.
Right, definitely.
So that's called positive equity.
Okay.
Which is very rare.
Interesting. Okay. So very rare. It probably happens a lot with trucks.
Trucks and SUVs for sure.
Okay.
Or that customer that put $10,000 down on that last car.
Okay. Is there any way for them to get that positive equity in the check?
Yes, absolutely. If a customer if you say, hey, I want to just take the value of the car and that $6,000, pay that off, but deposit $4,000, you say you want to check back? Yes, absolutely. At least with us. I'm going to speak about that. There's ways around it.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And when you say us, who are you talking about?
Taylor Automotive family.
I see how he did that. He was like
Taylor Hyundai and Toledo Central Avenue.
Okay. I appreciate that.
It was messed with.
Let me see if we have any questions. Because I know you got a family to get back to.
Oh man.
They cool.
They cool. The wife and kids all right.
Let me see. My man said the best salesman in Ohio. Michael Leach, we're going to talk about that.
Okay.
They want us to talk about leasing versus buying.
Okay.
Okay. What do you recommend? Do you recommend someone to lease a car or to buy?
Case by case situation. I always tell customers it's about who you are. Okay. What leasing is, leasing gives you the option of trading in your vehicle after 3 years without dealing with the negative equity. But you got a lot more restrictions. You're going to drive 10 to 12,000 miles a year on the average lease.
Right.
So, and if you go over your mileage,
typically 10,000.
Yeah, typically 10,000. If you go over your miles when you lease up, guess who pays for it? You did.
Yeah. Right.
And that can add up to $4-5 I see you all the time. Also when your lease is up, it gives you two other options. The option of just giving the car back. Let's say you hate that particular company, you don't want nothing to do with them. Just get the car back on your lease up, sign off on it, don't deal with any of the negative equities, so to speak. Okay, and you also get a chance to buy it out when your lease is up. You have a choice. Say, hey, I love my car so much, I just want to keep it. You can buy it out. So leases give you more options. The downside to leasing is, in 3 years from now, who knows what anything happens in life. Okay, your credit job, health problems. Now you got to give this car back or refinance this car. You may not be in position to, or you may be really over your mileage. You may not even be able to get a new vehicle. The advantage of purchasing a vehicle.
Okay, hold on, before you get to that,
okay,
because you said a couple things.
What's up?
So you're talking about when you lease the vehicle, you lease a brand new vehicle, typically the most recent, or can you lease a pre-owned?
No.
Certified pre-owned?
No.
Okay.
There are some banks that may lease a used car, but typically no.
Okay, so it has to be a new car, okay, which is dope because you get to ride around in the latest.
Brand new.
The payments are typically smaller.
Correct.
But when you talk about buying the car, having the option to buy the car,
okay,
when they assess the value of the car, is it what it was worth when you initially got it, or is it what it's worth at that point in time?
What is it worth at that point in time?
Okay, so that could be an advantage.
Yes. It can be more or less, whichever is the time, predominantly less. But if you purchase a vehicle, you now own that car.
Right.
Okay, the only person that can take away from you is the bank, whether it's 1 year or 6 year loan. And when you're done paying off, that car is officially yours. But you also have the option of trading in throughout several years. Your equity situation, it'll come down to, like I said, if what the car is worth. It could be more or less, I can't say.
Right.
But that's the benefit of purchasing. You do typically pay more with purchasing too.
Okay.
Payment wise.
Right.
Okay, but you pay less overall. When you lease a vehicle, if you buy after the whole lease, you pay more overall. So now you pay more than you should for the vehicle as opposed to when you.
Because the first 3 years you're paying, then now you have a 3 to 5 year.
Correct. Now you add 3 to 5. When you that 3-year lease, that's your residual.
Right.
That's what the car is estimated to be valued. It can be 48%. It can be 59%. All depends on the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the amount you actually pay for the car on your lease. And if you buy it out, now you got to pay way more than you should. But it is your vehicle. As opposed to when you're purchasing, the value of the car today, it doesn't change.
Interesting.
Well, at the moment at least.
Right, at that moment. So, I know with leasing, you don't have to worry about oil changes and all that good stuff.
Correct.
But the big thing about leasing is the mileage.
Okay.
Right? I have a lease right now.
Okay.
When I took my lease, I did it because I wanted to have a new car,
Mm-hmm.
and I really don't drive too much.
Correct. So you are a lease customer.
Yeah,
Correct.
and like my mileage is still super low. It's crazy. I'm like, I need to go somewhere.
Same here.
I need to go somewhere.
But if you are a customer that drive a lot, leasing is not for you.
It's not for you.
It's
And
not.
I can understand.
It's not for you.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Because also too, typically leasing too, you are responsible for any damage that you may incur.
Right. Unless you have a good
Insurance or something, or the lease
warranty.
That's case by case. Even with the lease warranty.
No, I put my man in the hell. Like, dude, I swear to God, if anything happens to this car, I'll beat your ass.
Even with the lease warranty, but it say this stuff like that. I think even with the warranty, you're still responsible for it. But like nicks or struts or if you hit something, maybe so. But yeah, I have to look into that.
Yeah.
I have to look and see exactly what does the lease warranty fully cover.
Okay, so that means we're gonna have a part 2 one day.
I gotta see that.
I appreciate that.
No problem.
So tell us how you will go about buying a car.
Well, I recently just bought my wife a car.
This man bought his wife a car. You know you bought me.
The process
That's
being,
what's up,
huh?
I said that's what's up though.
Thank you. It's hard to explain when it's myself, but I can tell from my past experience. Okay. When it comes to buying a car, I went to the same place. Okay, before I became a salesman myself, I had a set guy. Okay. I had a set guy. I was young, 21, 22, 23.
Hey, if you're watching, what's up?
I had a set guy. So I went to them. I knew my pay was, so pay stubs, residence. My credit score at the time was lower than what it is now, like 620 then, something like that. But I knew my score was nonetheless. And I knew that if I spent $12,000, I'd probably be around $300, $350 a month in payment.
Right.
So I just had a payment goal in mind and type of car I wanted. I went there, tried to make it happen, and it did.
Okay.
So it's a lot hard to sell myself.
But what was your credit score at that time?
At the time, around 620.
620. Do you remember your interest rate?
I do not.
Okay. When I first financed the car.
We're going to my baby first. That's different. Go ahead.
I'm not going to mention the company. But I'm not going to mention the company. Anyway, I bought a Cadillac Seville.
What?
It was sitting on 20s. It was
what year?
What was it? 11? No, it was a 2009.
Okay.
2009.
Okay.
2009. It was pearly white. It was clean. But I wasn't familiar with the car buying process.
Yeah.
I wasn't familiar with credit and how it impacted everything,
Right.
which actually got me into
Where you're right now.
where I am right now.
Yeah.
So it was a blessing in disguise. But my car payment, I believe it was like $350, right?
What price?
I think the car was like $12,000.
Okay.
However, my interest rate was crazy. And doing the math, I ended up paying double for the car.
Yep. So you must have 20+% interest.
Yep. It got repossessed and all that crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I dealt with all that, legalities and all that
stuff.
stuff. But yeah, man, you have to come to the table knowing your credit situation. And if you're not prepared, some people will take advantage of you, right? I'm pretty sure that car salesman got paid that day.
Sometimes you can't nothing be taken advantage of. Some things you can let get approved.
But the thing that I like about you, Lance, is you educate people.
Yes.
Right? And you take great pride in the work that you do.
I do.
And you're always trying to get people the best deal that you can possibly get them.
Yes, sir.
And ultimately, you make buku money because you do a great job.
Thank you.
And people trust you.
Thank you.
And keep doing that.
Thank you, man.
Right? We appreciate everything you're sharing
so
with us. And if you are in the Toledo area, Toledo, Sylvania, Perrysburg,
Detroit,
any area surrounding Toledo, please hit up my man Lance.
Right here.
And the Taylor Automotive family. If you can get to him, please reach out to him. What's your number?
419-322-1512. Write it down. Call me.
Okay. He has provided so much value today. He shared a lot of information that's going to help you make better decisions when it comes to buying your car. And if you are in the market for buying a car, please reach out to him and support this man.
Thank
okay?
You. Thank you.
Because he's going to take care of you.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. And when I get my next car, I'm going to come through.
Man, I will be honored. I'll be waiting for you.
I got you. Because I know he's going to hold me to that.
Oh, I'm waiting.
Okay, let me see here. All right. So I want to thank you all for watching this video.
Thank you.
If you're interested in getting your credit fixed, please visit our website, the700clubcreditrepair.com. We would love to serve you. We're actually running a special right now, so check that out. You have the opportunity to start the first 30 days in our program for cheap. And there's a lot of times where clients see dramatic increases within the first 30 days. Okay?
Yeah.
But I'm not going to guarantee that for you. Typically, it takes about 3 to 6 months for our clients to see a minimum 100-point credit score increase with the credit. As long as you don't allow any more negatives at your credit report, there's no reason for you not to see the same results. So check us out, the700clubcreditrepair.com. Check out the People Salesman, Lance Self. Hit him up on Facebook. You probably don't want to be hit up on Facebook.
Hit him on Facebook.
Hit him up anywhere. He's grateful that people are reaching out to him. He's going to take good care of you. Thank you for your time. And make sure you follow, like, subscribe. Show us some love. Leave a comment. Share this video. We appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Again, my name is Jason White.
And I'm Lance Self, the People Salesman.
All right. We out. Peace.
Woo.
Hi, my name is Jason White, CEO and founder of Witness Riches. What I've done was I prepared a credit masterclass that's going to teach you what you need to do to remove negatives from your credit report, what you need to do to raise your credit score up to 200 points, and what you need to do to make sure your credit is never in this situation again. I want to give you information that's going to help you fix your credit on your own. If you are someone who is looking to take their credit to the next level, whether you're trying to buy a house, buy a new car, refinance bad debt, or just be prepared for whatever life may bring your way, I want to share information that we use in our credit repair organization that's going to help you do just that on your own. You don't want to miss this free masterclass because I'm dropping jewels the whole class. Again, my name is Jason White, and I look forward to helping you reach your goals in 2020. Click the link associated to this video now, register today, and I'll see you.